Saturday morning, actually it's not morning, it's lunchtime, 12 o'clock.
12:30.
12:30, that's clock still SA time. We are hitting the magnet track today. It's like basically 6 k's out of Waratah where we're staying. Hamish and Sarah will get back today. I think they'll be there about 5 o'clock-ish or so. So hopefully we'll be back from this track by then. If not, we must be having a good time.
We have come for a drive along Magnet Road, trying to find a little township of Magnet. Some ruins are about, apparently. Good little trail. I guess there was a road over there. I won't get under these branches. After what was a very scenic drive, we've now come to a broken track. It's overgrown and washed away. The ground here is incredibly waterlogged. Even when you're on foot, you can just feel how spongy it is. There's a few low-hanging branches over the track here. We should be able to just jump out and push them up out of the way. The patrol isn't sitting too high anyway, thanks to only having a slim recovery box on a slimline roof rack. Running second in a convoy is often a good thing, and in this case, it means the big patrol is taking care of the majority of the pinstriping. As for the Jeep though, with a James Baroud rooftop tent, it sits a lot taller, and Mark doesn't want to scratch it if he can help it. This tests out Matt's reach, but we get through without a scratch. The Hilux doesn't have a problem, thanks to that tub rack, which means mounting of a rooftop tent can be a lot lower, keeping it out of the wind and the branches. The magnet mine hasn't been touched since the 1970s, when it was reworked for additional zinc, but hasn't truly been operational since 1940s, when they were pulling all sorts of minerals, including silver and lead. We have no idea what to expect, or if we'll find anything at all. From what we can gather though, this section of trail was where the train ran to and from the mine. "100 metres further up and we approach some chewed up mud. With logs, rocks and God knows what else in it, Nick takes a very slow approach in, but he's instantly stuck. Time to get the winch out and drag the big patrol further in. And by the looks of this stuff, we'll need all 12,000 pounds of that Smitty built winch. There, should be right.
See how it goes.
As Nick loads the winch up and uses a tiny bit of patrol power, he managed to get up on top of the mud.
I reckon I'll get through from here, Matty. Just disconnect him, I reckon I'll get through.
Nick thinks he's got it from here, so Matt gets the rope out of the way to give him a run.
I didn't get through.
Maybe a little optimistic, so Matt's back out on the rope to winch the rest of the way. Nick stops to reposition the winch line. This will give him a straighter pull rather than up towards the embankment. Wait up, Nick.
Yep.
These max tracks are sliding against the earth.
Are they?
Yeah.
You want to just grab them off? Is it against the body?
Yes, it is. The mount is.
Oh, can't do much better now.
Due to the angle, the passenger side of the patrol is gouging through the embankment and pushing on the body. Repositioning the anchor point earlier would have probably prevented this and pulled the vehicle away from this side. Once again, we need to swap sides in order to pull us in the right direction, and only a few metres left to winch as up ahead looks like firm ground. Before we get to that though, the patrol is busy chewing up all sorts of logs and debris. With the winch out of the way, Nick should be fine to drive from here. Right, that was easy enough. Just 2 more trucks to go.
I'll stay here for a snatch, I think.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be easier to pull you straight through.
Yeah.
Dragging the Jeep through is going to be a whole lot quicker than going through the winching process again. So Nick brings it back to hook a strap up.
More? Hey?
2 metres still.
Oh, I'm going to be back in the bog.
Nick decides a longer strap will be better to not risk him dropping back into the mud.
I'm just going to tow you through, Marco.
Yep, copy. Got you good to start.
With that attached, Nick slowly takes up the slack to pull the Jeep through, as a snatch probably won't be needed here. And we're good. You alright up there?
I'm on my hell of a lean. I'm going to come backwards a bit.
Yep, copy. You're fine to come back if you want.
Matt's not going to get very far through this bog hole, as none of us have. So just get this strap ready, get him to drive in, and rather than going 100 k's an hour through it,
Drag him through,
just pull him through.
and then
Pulled me through pretty easily.
if you get stuck,
And if I can't quite tug him through, then same deal on the front of this.
sounds good, let's do it. Yeah. It's fucking cold. Hell, that's cold. Hang on, whoa.
This is sweaty stuff.
The Jeep didn't have enough traction to pull the Hilux through, so Nick hooks up to the Jeep again to help out.
If you can just go forward a bit more so this strap's tight, I just don't want to run over it.
All good?
Yep, all good. All good.
With both vehicles pulling, the sled rises from the mud, bringing with it plenty of souvenirs. As we're packing up the straps, thinking job well done, it turns out the Hilux hasn't come out unscathed. The front tyre has lost a heap of air and the valve is nowhere to be seen.
What's happened?
Valve's gone completely. There's not much better place you want to change your tyre, right? Right, a fresh stream, freezing cold water.
So it's time to drop the spare down and swap it out. We can deal with the flat later.
I want to get that huge rock out from in there too. Fuck. When the brakes go squealy.
Since we've been using these Goodyear Wranglers, Mark and Matt have both stopped carrying a second spare. They've really proven themselves to be a tough tyre. However, a spare can be needed for a host of reasons. This is a good example of that. So if you're not carrying multiple spares, you'd better pack a repair kit and know how to use it.
Really hanging on.
That's what leeches do. Normally they do it on your skin though, not the top of a bottle jack. And that's the last I'm getting into that water.
Time to move on. And it doesn't get much easier. The water is running down one side of the track, making a big height difference from left to right. It really makes you feel uneasy as you constantly worry about dropping into a hole beneath the murky water. The trees either side are getting thicker. There's constant scraping down both sides of the vehicles. It's even ripped Nick's shovel from its holder, breaking the rubber mount. So we have to stop again to tie it back on. When the track does even out, something just gets worse. If you're fond of your paintwork, then this is not the place to be. Pinstriping is going to be heavy after this. And don't be fooled how green everything is. There's plenty of stubborn ones in there too.
It's pretty tight here from a tree to a drop off, so need someone to be more official.
Up a bit. Forward. Yeah, this way, Nick. Yep. Straight. Coming, keep coming. Keep coming. Oh, that was crazy close.
I know, I heard things dropping in the water.
Yeah.
A spotter is beginning to be needed to avoid obstacles, which is slowing us down even more, as one by one, we make our way along the track.
Rather than risk a vehicle on its side, we take the high line, as there's just enough room to get by. It doesn't come without hazards though, with a stump directly in the driving line. After a while, we have to stop to rethink our options as it's slow going. According to the GPS, at the current rate, we'll be back at camp around 10 PM, and that's something we just haven't planned for. So we take a walk to look for a faster option. It's pretty sodgy. It's not looking promising, and Matt's called it. It's far too sodgy. A vehicle on this ground won't be going anywhere. And that's it. No other option but to continue on. With camp set up back in town, spending the night out here will be our last resort.